Hello, welcome to Grandma B's Busy Life. I'm so glad you clicked on the video. I'm really excited to be back. I've been gone for about 6 weeks and my life has been so busy the last 3 months, and I thought that to come back I would do a slow down and drink the coffee episode so that I could kind of share what's happened in my past 3 months, where have I been for 6 weeks, and what my plan is moving forward. So I do not have coffee today. I have green tea that I just brewed at home. It's mixed with my homemade kombucha. Like, what? Who makes homemade kombucha? This girl. I have been working on that. It's been about, maybe 3 or 4 months that I've been working on kombucha. And my last batch got away from me because I was out of town so much, and it brewed way too long and turned into this very, very bitter, not bitter, very sour vinegar. So I ended up having to dump most of it out. I saved a little bit to use as my starter for the next batch, but whatever. Anyhow, this is not about kombucha, but whatever. So where have I been? All over the place. I have been traveling from city to city to city, training teachers. I've had a great time. It's been exhausting and fun at the same time. I started really traveling heavily the last week of July. And between the last week of July and all of August, for about 5 weeks, I was only home 5 or 6 days. In fact, 1 2-week period, I flew out on Sunday morning and flew to 4 different states and flew home on Saturday, then flew out on Sunday morning, flew to like 3 or 4 different states, drove 6 hours because the place I was going in Iowa was nowhere near an airport. I had to fly into Chicago and then drive. I just went all over and then flew home again on Saturday. So I was home for about 12 hours in 2 weeks. And it was good to go home, sleep in my own bed, see Grandpa B, all of that. But I've been so busy. And on top of that, I have tons of behind the scenes work to do to make sure that all of my accounts are getting what they need in their training. So it's just been super, super busy. Now back to school is well underway and things are starting to slow down. So it looks like I'm going to have time to start doing some videos again, and I'm really excited. I want to tell you about one of the trips I took. I went to Detroit, and it was in that 2-week period where I wasn't home at all. And I flew in to Detroit on a Sunday. Yes, on a Sunday. I was supposed to land around 4 o'clock. And I got delayed and delayed and delayed. And I ended up traveling for 15 hours that day and ended up landing at about 7:30 or so. And I had some really cool things that happened in Detroit, and one really disappointing thing happened in Detroit. So the cool thing was, after I finished my training on Monday, I had 5 hours before I had to be at the airport. And I asked the teachers at the school that I was at, what is something classic Detroit? Like, how can I get an understanding of the culture of Detroit? Where do I go? What do I go visit? And they recommended the Detroit Institute of Arts or the African American Museum. So I decided I would hit both of them. I had 5 hours. They're both closed on a Monday, so I started doing my own research, and the Henry Ford Museum is there. That makes sense. It's Detroit, Motor City. Makes sense, right? So I went to the Henry Ford Museum. I absolutely loved it. I wish that Grandpa B had gone with me because there were so many cars. But the 2 things that were my favorite part of my 2 favorite things of the Henry Ford Museum, they had a mathematics room. Oh my goodness, that is my happy place. I spent so much time in there solving problems, watching, exploring. I loved the mathematics room. The other thing that I absolutely loved was I sat on the bus, the actual bus that Rosa Parks was arrested in. And it was such an emotional experience. I sat on the bus in the spot where Rosa Parks sat. And as I was sitting there, they started to play a soundtrack of Rosa Parks herself recounting what happened that day and what was going through her mind and the things that she went through. And it was really an emotional experience, really the highlight of the whole trip. So that was really fun, and I'm really glad I went there. But the disappointing thing about Detroit was Samantha. She didn't disappoint me. I disappointed both of us. Samantha from Small Family Small Budget, and I'll link her channel below. I adore her, and we have become very close friends. And she drove 3 hours. She lives in Michigan, but not close to Detroit. And she drove 3 hours to visit with me and to meet up so we could meet up face to face. And because of my delay, she wasn't able to stick around. By the time I would have gotten out of the airport, it would have been 8:30. And her son had to go to school the next day, and they still had to drive 3 hours home. So, Samantha, I am so grateful that you drove out. And I know that someday we'll meet. I can't wait. But I, again, am so sorry. That was really disappointing to me. I thought about it. Well, I still think about how I almost had the chance to meet her, but we will meet in time. So that's what I've been doing. City to city to city to city. Hop, 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 hop. And it's been fun and exhausting, but now my life is slowing down a little bit. I'm only out of town about 1 night a week now instead of 6 to 7 nights a week. And I'm going to start doing videos again. I'm not making a commitment to going back to 3 videos a week. I just can't do that. I want to do better. I want to have higher quality videos and fewer of them until I get better at it. So my plan is to do 1 video a week. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know what kind of videos they're going to be, other than my typical type, cooking, baking, being frugal, discount shopping, that kind of stuff. The same stuff you've seen on my channel all along, and the stuff that is really who I am. So that will start up. My first one that I'm going to do is going to be all around pumpkin. I have a 10-pound can of pumpkin. I bought it last year when pumpkin was scarce, and I knew that I needed to stock up or I wouldn't be able to get a hold of pumpkin. And I found 10-pound cans, and it was actually a lot cheaper than buying the smaller cans per ounce. So I bought a 10-pound can. Now I got to make a 10-pound can's worth of pumpkin things. So that will be my first video. It's probably going to be cut into 2 or 3 videos because that's a lot of pumpkin. A lot of pumpkin. I don't think I'm going to be able to use it all in 1 video. I don't think I'm going to be able to bake that much in 1 weekend. Anyhow, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to my little story about where have I been and what have I been doing. I'm really, really grateful that you clicked on the video. And if you are happy that I'm back, please give me a thumbs up. It just will help with the algorithm to get my channel back rolling again. And I'm excited to be back. I will see you again soon. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.